So as I promised to this boy, I'm going to answer his question based on what he asked me. What is the full meaning of fair value gap? I'm going to use fair value gap and make a very good amount of money in the market. But first of all, you need to ask yourself, is fair value gap worth trading? Let's dive in now. We'll find the answer in this video. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about the truth about fair value gaps, FVG, the aka FVG. This is one of the most overrated trading concept right now online. A lot of ICT traders, SMC traders, everybody is talking about fair value gap, FVG. So in this video, we are going to talk about what is fair value gap, number one. Number two, why FVG happens. We are going to talk about balance and imbalance in the market. Then in the third one, we're going to talk about what is the origin of FVG. What is the origin of fair value gap? In fact, you don't know the origin of fair value gap. I'm going to tell you how FVG originated and how are we come about FVG. And also on the fourth one, we're going to talk about best FVG trading strategy. I'm going to give you a nice trading concept that work with fair value gap. Also, in the fifth one, I'm going to give you FVG best rule. What is the best rule that you need to consider when trading the fair value gap? Number 6, we are going to talk about the bonus tip, which is best time to use orders. So this one is best time to use orders during your fair value gap. We are going to explain that one later. And also, does FVG matters or what your time? We need to answer this question at the end of this video. After giving you all the details you need to understand, you also need to understand, does FVG matters or what's your time? We'll get to find out. So let's dive in now. So let's start with number 1, which is what is fair value gap and examples. So I drafted some things for you. So FVG, a fair value gap, refers to a zone on the chart where the price moves easily due to imbalance between supply and demand. When this imbalance is levels out, price movement tends to slow and the FVG area often act as support and resistance. This is one of the most important things I want you to understand in this definition. They say, and the FVG area often act as support and resistance. That is the simple explanation you need to understand about fair value gap. A lot of people have been overreacting and overrating this fair value gap. This fair value gap, as you know, is just your normal simple support and resistance level. But this is a different name and a different terminology that is used by the ICT trading concept, SMC, the smart money traders. They try to make sure they bring something new, something that you don't even know it exists, but it's also the same thing you have been trading and the same thing you have been using to make money. So this is the simple explanation and the simple meaning of FVG, which is fair value gap. And let me show you how you can be able to spot fair value gap on your chart right now with examples. So now you need to understand that the factor that considered to determine price direction is the action that unfolds when price enters the fair value gap. Look at it. This is example of fair value gap, which is higher low, higher high. So we are trying to target. So whenever price break above higher high and create a new high, breaks above high and create a new higher high, price tend to resume back into that area. And whenever price tend to resume in our price area, you will see there was always a market reaction, which is the market reaction that will give you confirmation to go off. So this is just a mini example. Let me give you some full example now. You see, this is a fair value gap. Because whenever you are concentrating about fair value gap, you need to know that fair value gap is a setup of 3 candles. Setup of 3 candles, 1, 2, 3. So whenever there is a sudden and rapid price movement, when there is imbalance in the market, what is imbalance? I want you to understand market moving is higher high, higher low, higher highs, higher low, higher highs, higher low. So whenever there is imbalance in the market, what is imbalance? For market to move in one direction or the other, there will always be a balance between the buyers and the sellers. But when there is imbalance of buyers and sellers in the market, that is when you see a fair value gap occur. These are more of chart lab example. I'm going to deep down and explain more details later. So you can see this is another fair value gap. Fair value gap. You have to calculate 1, 2, 3. So you see this wick of the third candle and the wick of the first candle, there's a gap between them. So this gap is telling you that in this form now, sellers are not in this market. Only buyers have pushed down the price higher from this point up to this area. So these are the smart money moves. So whenever price make this way, we wait and make sure whenever price come back and tap into this our fair value gap, which can also be called order block. Fair value gap can be referred as order block, support and resistance, because the way you see support and resistance on your chart, that is how you can be able to see fair value gap every day, every time on your chart. But mind you, I repeat, mind you, if you want to trade the fair value gap, make sure you are trading the extreme fair value gaps. Make sure you are trading a lowest fair value gaps, that is in the case of downtrend, and the highest fair value gap in the case of uptrend. That is what you need to understand. This is also another example. This is for bearish scenario, this is for bullish scenario. You can see we have 3 candles here. Whenever there is 3 candle formation and there is a gap between the first candle and the third candle where price make a sudden move, there is always a fair value gap here. This is the fair value. This rectangle you are seeing, this zone, this is a bearish fair value gap, and this is a bullish fair value gap, aka known as overrated FVG. So this is the simple meaning of fair value gap. So let's move to the next point. So what the next point on our list is why FVG happens. So you need to understand that if fair value gap are areas on your chart that give you a high profitable trade, you need to understand why are those areas, why are fair value gap occurs, why it happens. And let me show you why FVG happens. Let me come back to this chart. Look at it. You see, price is trading what? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So because there is what we call gap. Gap simply means whenever market create a gap in between its candles, whenever there's a sudden change in market tends to create gap. And according to the price action and also technical analysis, whenever we have a gap, market will always go and look for where that gap is and fill that gap and allow the market to continue. Whenever there is gap in the market will always go and look for that gap, fill that gap, and create liquidity and move the market, because liquidity is the lifeblood of the market. Without liquidity, market can never move. So you need to know that price action, fair value gap create some form of liquidity for the market to move. Without liquidity, market can never move. I repeat, without liquidity, market can never move. That is what you need to understand about fair value gap. So why fair value gap happens? So fair value gap happens because look at this on this chart now. After I break up these highs now, there are high, low here. There are pending orders at this low. Buyers who meet this breakout, they come and place their buy limit order here. For those that don't know what is buy limit order, you can go and check the video I just released for the last 24 to 42 hours, which was asked by me. Somebody asked me to create a very nice video for him, which I create a very nice video for him, showing him what is pending orders. I give example of buy limit order, sell limit order. This is the video. Let me show you. So you need to go and watch this video. This video is a very good video. This video will change your life. This video will help you understand the difference between market orders. And after you watch that video, then you should be able to go and check about fullback, because if you understand this fullback system I just said now, you'll be able to understand this fair value gap trading system, because it will help you identify how are you going to master fullback. If you watch this video and watch the other video, then you can be able to come and continue watching this video that we are going to talk about fair value gap. So these pending orders you see that buyers are putting here, buyer will put they will put buy limit orders here. So price has to come back and find any possible way to come and tap into these orders before price continue to go off higher. That is what we mean by fair value gap, and that is the origin of fair value gap. The origin that is why fair value gap happens. That is why fair value gaps happen in the market. Whenever you see fair value gap happens, just make sure there are buyers or sellers that go and create some form of funding orders and create liquidity for initial direction. This is Forex Gold Trading Channel. Please, if you are finding any value on this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like this video, share with your loved ones so that we can be able to catch the fish together. So let me move to the next agenda on my list, where I'm going to tell you what is the origin of fair value gap, because this is one of the most as I repeat in my statement, this is one of the most overrated term or trading term that is used in the internet now. Fair value gap. Everybody here, fair value gap. Everybody here, fair value gap. SMC, ICT, all of that. Please don't get yourself confused. Make sure if you are even trading this fair value gap, you have a certain rules for it. You have a conditions for it. You make sure all your certain rules and all your conditions follow all the exact statement that you want to follow trading your FVG, or I should say trading your so-called overrated FVG. So let's move to the next point. Origin of fair value gap. So what is the origin of fair value gap? Basically, what I want you to understand is that all those ICT trading traders, all those smart money trading, smart money concept traders, they are just trying to make sure they confuse you or they bring something that is going to make you understand as if you are not trading the right way, because fair value gap and other blocks are more of the same thing. There are one analysis I saw from someone. I may try and find out that thing. They are able to do a long-term back test and understand that fair value gap and other block have almost similar win rate. So what I want to understand now, origin of fair value gap is just as the same thing as origin of support and resistance. If you understand your support and resistance, you understand market structure, you understand that markets can be able to break highs, retest that high, continue a trend, or market need to break out a level or break a structure, retest that structure, and continue heading off higher. That is what you need to understand about this origin for the FVG, so-called overrated fair value gap. I'm not saying this overrated because I want to confuse you. I just want you to understand there is nothing new in fair value gap. There is nothing special about fair value gap. All you need to understand, are you trading the price action very well? Are you understanding the market structure? Are you trading in the direction of the trend? That is the only thing you need to understand, and that is the only thing will give you good money in the long run. As I told you, fair value gap are more like support and resistance, because the way you see fair value gap on your chart, that is the same way you'll always be seeing support and resistance on your chart consistently. Every day you will see support and resistance on your chart. So origin of fair value gap is started from identifying and understanding demand and supply, support and resistance on your market. They just try to manipulate it, change the name, give it another concept, and let you understand that. Some people will even tell you that they have the blueprint for the FVG concept. My brother, FVG have been there for a very long time, except if you are not a trader. If you are trading the gold, if you are trading the crude oil, because I have been a forex trader for the first time before I joined synthetic, I trade crude oil very well. If you trade crude oil very well, if you trade gold very well, you should know that market will always produce gaps, especially daily gaps, weekly gaps, candle gaps. Everything you need to understand, market will always make sure it creates gap at its trading. And whenever market creates gap, it creates imbalances. Whenever market creates imbalances, it needs to go and balance that market so that the market can continue trading in the main direction of the trend. This is Forex Gold Trading Channel. And don't forget, if you are finding any value on this video, click the like button, share this video to your loved ones so that we can be able to catch the fish together. So now, let me tell you what you need to understand with this first one is best FVG trading concept. You need to make sure mean by best FVG trading concept. So if you want to trade the fair value gap, I want you to understand there is one kind of fair value gap that is very rare to see in the market, which is called 4 candles formation fair value gap, or a kind of fair value gap that breaks structure before it occurs. And let me show you on the chart now. So now look at it now. If you look at this fair value gap now, there was 1, 2, 3 candles. If you look at from the high wick of the candle to the lowest of the wick of this candle, there was a very big gap. But what happened? Immediately this breakout happens, there was a change of character here. It breaks structure to the upside. So you need to take note of this last candle, the first candle. So it breaks structure. This candle, this gap now breaks structure. So, and you see market continued full back small and to go up again. And look at it, market created another fair value gap here between these last 3 candles. But because this is not a high quality fair value gap, we are not interested in this fair value gap. We are going to ignore this fair value gap and concentrate on this one. And that's to tell you that whenever price tap into this zone, you are going to wait. You are not going to buy, you are going to wait. If you wait, then you need to understand what kind of price action you are seeing currently on your chart after the market tap into that zone. If you identify a bullish price action with a bullish momentum, you can be able to take your trade off higher, set your stop loss intact, set your take profit intact. If you see any form of bearish pressure, you should ignore the setup. Whenever you are trying to trade a fair value gap and you realize that the next candle market broke into this gap and also candle close below, whenever candle close below this gap, that is not a good fair value gap. In fact, I will show you some more examples later. You see, this is another fair value gap, 3 candles up. This is bullish and this is bearish. You can see this is fair value gap, FVG. This gap that is created between these 3 candles, that is what is meant by FVG, which is also known as overrated fair value gap. But let me tell you, FVG is very, very important. That's why you think it's overrated. But there's a way you trade FVG that will make you a very, very good amount of money, which I'm going to share with you in my last point of the list. So that is what you need to understand about FVG. This is another fair value gap. You can see this is another fair value gap. This is another fair value gap. This one too. This is bearish. This is bullish. So you need to understand that. It's very, very simple and it's easy to understand. So now let's go to the next on our 5. We are going to talk about FVG based rule. I told you the best FVG trading strategy is whenever you have an FVG and also the FVG create a break of structure. If FVG create a break of structure, just go and mark your zone and wait for market to tap into that area and you just take your trade higher. Example, somewhere around here, you see FVG break this structure, and whenever price tap into this zone, we are just going to take our trade off higher. That is the simple explanation you need to understand about FVG fair value gap. FVG best rule. One of the best rule I want you to understand as an FVG trader, or I should say as a price action trader, you need to understand that if you are trading the fair value gap, this line, this gap now that we created, this one to this line, this fair value gap now, this region, if you are going to place your buy, you can place your buy at this top level. You can also place your buy at the 50% of this region. Some people come and place it below here, but sometimes if you place it below here, market will come here, dance here, it will not activate your order and it will continue going up. So that is what you need to understand. So whenever you are going to take a fair value gap, make sure that fair value gap you are trading it at the 50% level of the gap. You are going to measure it. Let's say from this point to this point is 100 pips. Then exactly where 50 pips is, that is the 50%, and that is where you are going to place your buy or sell order in the case of downtrend or uptrend respectively. So that is what I want you to understand, and that is one of the basic rules you need to understand as a price action trader or ICT trader or SMC trader. Then the last thing but not the least that I want to talk about is that bonus tip, which is best time to use orders. So now what I want you to understand, whenever if you want to trade fair value gap and profit, let me show you what I mean on my chart. If you want to trade, you can see this is an account that have been connected. You see, this is an account that have been connected to our AI spike detector. You can see it's an account that is copying our trades directly from our AI spike detector using our VFS courier machine. You can see we have a live direct buy. You have a server that is directed on the internet currently, and you can be able to trade with it comfortably, direct and live in your trading system, and you can be able to see it now. You see it's currently trading now. You see it's currently trading now. So this is our live server directly from South Africa. So for those that are copying our trade, this is what they use as our copier system. You see, this is where I can be able to access my AI spike detector and it's generating signals for all, and it's giving us trade, and we're always trying to make sure we are catching good profit. So this account now that was connected, this is a live account, and it was connected not up to 4 days ago. You see, when we even found the account, it was on the 16th, not up to 2 to 3 days ago, but it was able to generate a very good amount of profit, which is almost more than 50% of the profit trading the boom and crash, which in my next video I'm going to show you exactly how you can be able to make at least 20 to 30 or even 50% of your equity daily with a single signal, which is a higher quality trading setup, trading the boom and crash market. So using a boom and crash magic bounce back strategy, or using our special boom and crash AI spike detector. So that is what you need to understand whenever you are placing orders in your chart. You need to make sure you are giving yourself a room, you are giving yourself a condition, you are giving yourself some certain rules that will make you have what you want from the market. The last on our list is where I'm going to give you the rules and guidelines that I use for my own fair value gap. So now I want you to understand, if I'm the one trading and I also want to trade the fair value gap, this is our magic bounce back strategy. You can see we are currently taking a position here, and we are currently live on it, and market is continuous spiking, is giving us what we want. So what I want to understand, if you want, like, look at it here now, there was a break of structure here, but we have a fair value gap here. So market returned to the fair value gap using our strategy, and after the price tapped into that zone, you can see what happened. Price was able to go up higher again. So these are things you need to understand when trading either boom and crash market, crypto market, forex market. Any form of trading indices in the world can be able to use the same concept we are using now to catch spike, to trade the fair value gap. So now I want you to understand the first rule you need to use when you want to use the fair value gap is to validate your order, is to validate your fair value gap. I used to validate my fair value gap because any fair value gap that is above 50% retracement of my market, I'm not going to trade it. Let me give you an example on what I mean here, please. Now, if I bring a Fibonacci now, let me bring a Fibonacci extension. This is Fibonacci. Let me say I put it on these levels. You see, this is from 100 to 0. So now, let's say this is 50% retracement. So what I want a situation whereby any fair value gap I want to trade for a buy market, I want to make sure is between this 50% to this 0%. I don't want it up here, I want it down here for buy market. If it is for sell market, I want to trade it from 50 to 0, not from 50 to 100, because I need to have a fair value gap around this low, and all, so that as I take my market here, it will automatically take me go higher, because it's an extreme order block, or it should say it's an extreme support and resistance, or it's an extreme order block or fair value gap, the overrated fair value gap. Let me use this fair value gap because that is what you know and that is what you ask me. But as far as I'm concerned, trading the fair value gap is very important, and you need to understand how market create balances and imbalances in the market, and you need to make sure you are not caught by the liquidity of the market, because you need to make sure if market did not create liquidity and you enter the market, you are the liquidity for the market. That is what you need to understand. This is Forex Gold Trading Channel. So now I want you to understand that this fair value gap trading system is a very nice trading system that you can be able to use it and make sure you make money in the long run. So now after the first rule, when you validate your fair value gap. Number two, make sure if you are buying for an extreme fair value gap, or if you are selling for extreme fair value gap. That means if you are buying from a very low fair value gap. If you are selling from a very high fair value gap, because those are the kind of fair value gap that have the most important and also the most length in the market. This is Forex Gold Trading Channel, and I'm going to respond to the last but not the least, or I should say the last on our list. Does FVG seriously matters for you? Let me answer this question now. So now, based on what I have discussed earlier and based on all these things we have discussed, as a trader, you need to understand fair value gap. But don't just rely on what it means on the internet. You need to make sure you understand the market structure very well. If you want to make a very good detailed video on fair value gap. How are you going to use fair value gap to take your trade? How are you going to use fair value gap to trade the high time frame? And you can be able to see the fair value gap in any time frame: 1 minute time frame, 5 minute time frame, 15 minute time frame. There is no any time frame that you cannot see the fair value gap. All I can tell you is, please, fair value gap matters a lot to your trading system, but make sure if you are trading the fair value gap, you have some certain rules for it, you have some special conditions for it, and make sure your fair value gap has meet up with your conditions, your fair value gap has meet up with your rules, your fair value gap has meet up with everything that you need to have as your confluences before you take your trade. That is the only way you can benefit from the so-called overrated fair value gap. So nice to have you now. See you in my next video. Well, my next video, I'm going to introduce you to the simple and nice boom and crash spike cutting strategy that we have used to catch spike consistently trading the boom and crash. Nice to have you now. See you in my next video. Bye. Please, if you have any question, don't forget to leave it in the comment section, and I promise to answer your question and respond to it before the next 24 hours. Nice to have you now. See you in my next video. Bye.